Good morning, children. Today we are discussing about polynomials. What are the main important concepts? I will discuss now. And before that, we will go for some introduction in this chapter. First of all, what is polynomial? Polynomial means poly means many and nomial means terms. Many terms. And also in other words we can say that an algebraic expression which contains variables and constants. It is a combination of variables and constants, and in this variable having non-negative exponent. Non-negative integer exponent is non-negative integer. If you go polynomial again, before that in this chapter we are mainly discussing about value of the polynomials and as well as zero of the polynomial, graphs, linear, quadratic and cubic, and the division of a polynomial. These are the major concepts. In the again, polynomial is divided into based on terms we can classify, and number of terms and degree we can classify polynomial, which type of polynomial. That is, if you go with the number of terms, here if there is a single term, only one term is there, then we call as a monomial. Like example 7x, 5x square, like only one term is there. Here x is a variable and that is a 7 is a multiple. If you go binomial, there are two terms. Number of terms is 2, x square plus 1 or x square plus 2x. There is only two terms, then we can say that is a binomial. Like the trinomial, x square plus x plus 1. There are three terms. If you go multinomial, there are more than three terms. Then we can say that is a multinomial. That is based on terms we can classify which type of polynomial. And also we can get based on degree, we can classify which type of polynomial, that also. Based on degree means, first of all, what is degree means? In the expression contains all the terms which is the highest exponent. That one we call as power degree of the polynomial, and that also we call as order or degree we call. And in polynomial generally we can write as descending order. Always we need to write polynomial is in descending order. Then first of all, when you take the degree 0, then degree 0 means that is a constant polynomial. We can say that p of x equal to k, that for any x, that is a general form. We call p of x equal to k for any x. Means not only that one, we can take p of x equal to 5. If there is no variable in that term, then we call that is a constant polynomial. Whatever the value of x, if you substitute, it becomes the same value. It is not changing. Y value is not changing. You are changing x only. And if you go with the degree 1, that we call as a linear polynomial, and the general form is p of x equal to ax plus b. A is not equal to 0. A comma b are real numbers. Like that, in the same way, if you go quadratic, degree 2 means quadratic. We can write general form p of x equal to ax square plus bx plus c, and a is not equal to 0. A, b, c belongs to real number. This quadratic we can use again in the quadratic equations. That is also important. And next cubic, if the polynomial having degree 3, then p of x equal to ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d. A is not equal to 0. A, b, c, d belongs to real number. If you go nth degree polynomial, p of x general form, if the highest power is n, we call nth degree polynomial. Here the number of terms, if number of terms is always, we can write as a naught x power n plus a1 x power n minus 1. Like that, always it is a descending order. You will get n minus 1, n minus 2 up to x power 1 and x power 0 finally. We can write as a naught x power n plus a1 x power n minus 1, a2 x power n minus 2 up to an minus 1 x plus an. Here the condition is highest variable coefficient cannot be equal to 0. A naught cannot be equal to 0, and a naught, an all are belongs to real number. And we can go see this quadratic polynomial. I can find out the zeros and verify the relation between zeros and coefficient of the polynomial by taking this polynomial. And also we can get zeros are given, we can frame again quadratic polynomial. And if you sum and product of zeros also given, then we can make again quadratic polynomial. And also for cubic polynomial also we can check the zeros and verify the relation between the zeros. Now first of all, if I take this is the quadratic polynomial x square minus 5x plus 6, then they can ask the questions what is the quotient of x cube, means here there is no x cube, we can take as 0, and x square quotient is 1 and x quotient is minus 5 and constant term is 6. And as we know earlier 9th class we studied that how to find out the zeros. Let equate the polynomial to 0, let p of x equal to 0, then you will get x square minus 5x plus 6 also is equal to 0. Then first of all you have to check that the polynomial is in descending powers is there or not. Once if it is descending, and first multiply the first term of the x square quotient with constant term, 1 into 6 you will get as 6, and you have to split the middle term as sum of the two numbers should be middle term and the product of the two terms should be last term. 1 into 6 is 6. Then we can split this polynomial as x square minus 2x minus 3x plus 6 is equal to 0. Why? Because if you add the two numbers, minus 2 plus minus 3 is minus 5 and minus 2 into minus 3 is plus 6, minus into minus. Then we can split this polynomial as x square minus 2x minus 3x plus 6 equal to 0. Then we can take in the first two terms I can take as x common, then x into x minus 2, and the last two terms also we can write as x minus 2. Why? Because this one of the factor is x minus 2. Then here also we will get as x minus 2. Then the remaining term is minus 3x. In that already we got x. Then the remaining is minus 3. We will write here. Then after that x minus 2 we can take as common. Then x minus 2 into x minus 3 is equal to 0. Then product of two numbers 0 means either x minus 2 equal to 0 or x minus 3 equal to 0. Then x is equal to 2 or x equal to 3. Then here alpha is 2 and beta is 3. Then sum of the zeros, we can verify the relation between zeros and coefficient of the quadratic polynomial. Alpha plus beta is 2 plus 3, that equal to 5. We can write 5 as minus of minus 5 by 1. Then nothing but that is the formula minus b by a. That is nothing but minus coefficient of x term by coefficient of x square. This one also we can write as alpha beta, that is 2 into 3, that is 6. We can write 6, we can write as 6 by 1, that is equal to c by a. This is nothing, c by a is nothing but constant term by coefficient of x square. This is the relation between the zeros and coefficient of the quadratic polynomial. If we go, if zeros are, already we find out zeros is alpha is 2 and beta is 3. Then by using these zeros, again we can make a quadratic polynomial by substituting the formula. K into x square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta. Here alpha is 2 and beta is 3. Then k of x square of minus 2 plus 3 into x plus 2 into 3. Here in the place of alpha 2, in the place of beta 3, if you simplify, then 2 plus 3 is 5 and 2 into 3 is 6. Then denominator is 1, means we can take when k equal to 1, the polynomial is x square minus 5x plus 6. We got the same polynomial. Whatever the zeros we find out here, alpha beta, again by using that zeros we can make the quadratic polynomial. Again if sum and product of the zeros, here we got already sum of zeros alpha plus beta is 5 and product of zeros is 6. By using same formula, in the place of sum of zeros and product of the zeros if we replace, then we can get a quadratic polynomial. When k equal to 1, the same polynomial we got. If zeros given, we will get in quadratic polynomial. If sum and product of zeros are also given, we will get same quadratic polynomial. And also this quadratic polynomial we can find out three methods. They can give 3 terms. Sometimes they can miss c term, or sometimes they can skip middle term. In this 3, I will explain here. P of x equal to x square minus 1. X square minus 1 is equal to 0. Let x square equal to 1 and x equal to, whenever square going to the other side it becomes a root plus or minus. Then x equal to plus or minus 1. The here alpha is 1 and beta is minus 1 we can take, and we can process, same process we can do. And if we go with the c term is missing, 8x square plus 2x equal to 0, we can take 2x is common, then 4x plus 1. Here 2x is equal to 0 or 4x plus 1 equal to 0. Then you will get x equal to 0 by 2 is nothing but one of the 0 is 0 and one other 0 is minus 1 by 4. Like that we can go same method after that finding zeros. If you go with the cubic polynomial, in cubic polynomials we cannot directly find out that we need to go trial and error method or synthetic division method, but sometimes they can give like directly, we can give those are the zeros and verify the relation between the zeros and quotient of the cubic polynomial. Here in this cubic polynomial x cube minus 3x square minus x plus 3, here he can give the values 1, minus 1, 3 are the zeros or not. How can we verify? Means simply replacing x by 1, we can get a p of 1 value here. Substituting in the place of x 1, you can get the value of x, p of 1 value is 0 I got if you simplify. If you take in the place of x minus 1, then you will get minus 1 cube minus 3 into minus 1 square minus of minus 1 plus 3. If you simplify again, this is minus 1 minus 3 plus 1 plus 3, then again you will get a 0. If you go with p of 3 equal, then 3 cube minus 3 into 3 square minus 3 plus 3, if you simplify again you will get a 0. Therefore we can conclude that here the function value is 0, p of 1, p of minus 1, p of 3, then you will get this 1, minus 1, 3 are the zeros of the cubic polynomial p of x. Then alpha plus beta plus gamma, we can verify the relation between zeros, here sum of zeros, sum of product of zeros taken 2 at a time, and sum product of zeros. Here we need to verify 3 relations. Here to quadratic polynomial 2, we will get alpha beta, sum of zeros, product of zeros. But here cubic 3 zeros, then we need to verify these 3 conditions: alpha plus gamma, alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha, and alpha beta gamma. If you take alpha plus beta plus gamma, 1 plus of minus 1 plus 3 equal to 3, minus of minus 3, that we can write 3 as minus of minus 3. Then you will get again plus 3 by 1. We can write as minus b by a. Here b is nothing but minus coefficient of x square by coefficient of x cube. If you take alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha, if you substitute, you will get the answer is minus 1. We can write as minus 1 as minus 1 by 1, that is c by a. That is nothing but coefficient of x term by coefficient of x cube. If you take alpha beta gamma, then you will get the answer as minus 3, that is minus 3 by 1, nothing but minus d by a. The next concept is division of a polynomial, very important concept. In this chapter, graphs and division of a polynomial, we need to focus 4 marks questions. And here division of a polynomial, whenever p of x is divided by g of x, and we need to division and verify the division algorithm also for verification purpose. First of all, the p of x polynomial, we need to check that is a descending power c is there or not. X square minus 5x plus 6. If your descending power is not there, then you arrange in the descending order. And the second g of x is also descending order is there or not, we need to check. X minus 2, as it is descending order. Now here I want to get quotient of the first term, means what is the procedure means. Here this one we call as leading term. Already we studied in the 9th class. This is the leading term x square by leading term in the divisor. Leading term in the dividend by leading term in the divisor. Then you will get the first term of the quotient. X square by x is equal to x. This is nothing, the formula is a power m by a power n, a power m minus n. Then you will get the first term of the quotient is x. Whenever you got x, multiply this x with again this each term in the divisor. Here quotient term, whatever the first term you got, that term with multiply each of the term in the divisor. Then you will get this formula. You have to apply a power m into a power n is a power m plus n, adding the powers. X into x, x square, and x into plus into minus, minus 2x. Then you will get, whenever you are subtracting the second expression, you will get plus becomes minus, minus becomes plus. Then these two will get cancelled. Minus 5x plus 2x. Then this becomes minus 3x. Then 6, whatever the 6 is there, we will write here. Again here the degree of this remainder is 1 here. This remainder should be less than the divisor degree. Why? Because if both are having same degree, again we need to continue the same process. But the problem is here dividend we are changing. Here the original dividend is x square minus 5x plus 6 changes to new dividend is minus 3x plus 6. Again the same process we will continue. Here the leading term is minus 3x by x, then you will get minus 3. Then the second term in the quotient of this polynomial is minus 3. Multiply with minus 3 each of the term in the divisor. Minus 3 into x is minus 3x, minus 3 into minus 2 plus 6. Then subtract, you will get again signs will change, plus, minus. These two will get cancelled, 6 also will get cancelled, 0. Then this process is we can verify by division algorithm. How can we verify divisor into quotient plus remainder? Here divisor is x minus 2, quotient is x minus 3, remainder is 0. Substitute the values, you will get as x minus 2 into x minus 3 plus 0. Then multiply each term, you will get x into x, x square, x into minus 3, minus 3x, minus 2 into x, minus 2x, minus into minus, plus 2 3 is a 6. Then we will get the dividend is x square. If you simplify this one, minus 3x minus 2x are like terms, we can add x square minus 5x plus 6. That is nothing but dividend. Then the quotient is x minus 3 and the remainder is 0. And also one more concept they can ask, divide this polynomial by x square minus 5x plus 6 by x minus 2. Check whether that is a second polynomial is a factor of the first or not, means whenever remainder is 0, then it is always will be a factor. Otherwise you will get some constant remainder or x, when remainder in the terms of x. Based on the degree we can check. Next, if you go, other method is zeros of a biquadratic. We call degree 4 is a biquadratic polynomial. For this biquadratic, degree 4 have at most 4 zeros. For that 4 zeros they can give 2 zeros and find 2 more zeros. For this purpose, what we will do, since these 2 are the zeros, we can frame a quadratic polynomial by writing x minus alpha into x minus beta. Then substitute the alpha root 5 by 3 and minus root 5 by 3. Then you will get x minus root 5 by 3, minus of minus is plus, x plus root 5 by 3. Then you will get a minus b into a plus, a minus b into a plus b. Then you will get a square minus b square. This is the formula we will apply here. A plus b into a minus b is nothing but a square minus b square. Here we will apply same formula, square and root will get cancelled, we will get x square minus 5 by 3. Here whenever you are dividing with quotient terms, better to take LCM and take outside, then you get 1 by 3, 3x square minus 5. Now divide this polynomial by this one, because this is a factor. Whenever you divide with this polynomial, this one, you will get a remainder is 0 and quotient you will get. Like this, if you do same process, then you will get x square plus 2x plus 1 is the quotient and remainder is 0. Then again we will verify the division algorithm, then you will get divisor into quotient plus remainder. Divisor we can factorize into x minus root 5 by 3 into x plus root 5 by 3, and whenever you factorize a quotient, you will get as x plus 1 into x plus 1. Therefore we can conclude that there are root 5 by 3, minus root 5 by 3, minus 1 are the zeros. Now we are discussing about graph of a polynomial. Graph of a polynomial is depend on, we need to get value of the polynomial. This concept also cover here. What is the meaning means, if you take the quadratic polynomial in graphs, they can ask linear graphs, they can ask draw the graph of the linear polynomial or cubic polynomial or quadratic. You follow this method, x randomly you select the values, x is 0, 1, minus 1, 2, minus 2, 3 up to 4, 5 values you take. Depend on situation you can increase the values for quadratic polynomial. If you take x value is 0, in the place of x replace 0 here, you will get 0 square minus 5 into 0 plus 6. In the place of x replace 0, 0 square is 0, 5 into 0 is 0 plus 6, you will get answer is 6. In the here x value is 0, then y value becomes 6. And the second one, if you take x value is 1, then replace again in the place of x by 1, then you will get 1 square minus 5 into 1 plus 6. This is 1 square is 1, 1 minus 5 into 1 is minus 5 plus 6. 1 plus 6 is 7, 7 minus 5 is 2. Then x equal to minus 1. Then you will get y equal to minus 1 square minus 5 into minus 1 plus 6. 1 plus 5 plus 6 is 12. Like that, x value is minus 1, y value is 12. X equal to 2 replace, then you will get y value is 0. Means y value is 0 means that is a 0 of that polynomial. This curve intersects x axis at 2. We can clearly say that whenever x is 2, y value 0 means 2 is a 0 of this polynomial. And also x equal to 3, if you substitute, you will get a 0. X equal to minus 2, you are getting as 20. And x equal to 4, you are getting 4 square minus 5 into 4 plus 6 equal to 16 minus 20 plus 6, that equal to 2. Then if you plot all the points, here first point if you see x value 0, y value 6 means this point lies on y axis. Why? Because x value is 0. The y axis where it is 6, we can mark the point 0 comma 6. If you take next point is x 1 comma 2, x is 1, y value 2, mark this point. X is minus 1, y is 12, and x is 2, y is 0, means on x axis. Y is 0 means x axis. We know already, we have studied that if the x coordinate is 0, the point lies on y axis. If the y end is 0, then the point lies on x axis. If both are 0 means the point lies on the origin. And if you take x is 2, y is 0 value, and x is minus 2, y value 20, and x is 3, y value 0 again. After that we need to increase. It is coming downwards or going upward, we need to take one more value. Now I am taking as x as 4, then y is 2. Again it is increasing. Then this is a quadratic polynomial, it comes U shape. That's why we can say from the graph it is clearly. Finally, we need to mention the scale. X axis as 1 centimeter is 1 unit. Y axis as 1 centimeter is 2 units, and from the graph it is clearly, conclusion we need to give in this graph. From the graph it is clearly that the curve intersects at 2 comma 0 and 3 comma 0. We can say that 2 and 3 are the zeros of this quadratic polynomial. This is very important question, they can ask in 4 marks questions. And basically the quadratic curve may be in the shape of U shape, either open upwards or open downwards, based on a is greater than 0 or a is less than 0. If the coefficient of x square is negative, then you will get a open downwards. If the coefficient of x square is positive, then it is open upwards. And again this open upward and open downwards also will arise 3 cases. Here open upwards means they can if the curve intersects like this, it has 2 zeros. If the curve intersects x axis at touches x axis at only one point, then it has 1 0. If the curve does not intersect x axis, then it has no zeros. In the same way open downwards also will get. And whereas in the linear polynomial the graph will intersect straight line, always intersects the x axis at one point. Whenever if it is a constant polynomial, that may be parallel to x axis. If you go cubic polynomial, you will get like a curve. And when you take the odd powers degrees, minimum it will intersect the x axis one time, that is a linear one time, cubic also minimum one time. But in the even cases, that the curve intersects at 2 points. For a quadratic polynomial, 2 points, 2 zeros, 1 0 and no zeros. And here we can say the condition is here b square minus 4ac greater than 0, two distinct roots, b square minus 4ac equal to 0, two equal real roots, b square minus 4ac less than 0, no real roots. These are the cases. The next chapter we are discussing mensuration. This is also a very important chapter. We can expect 6 to 7 marks from annual exam. And here only 4 concepts in this chapter is there. What are there? First of all, surface area and volumes. These are all single 3-dimensional figures they can ask. Maybe on cylinder, cone, sphere, hemisphere, cube, cuboid. And second, this is the first concept. Simply we are asking what is the volume, surface area. Based on the situation, we can need to take TSA or LSA. And second concept is surface area of the combination of solids. In the first concept you are having only single figures. In the second concept you are taking combination of figures, like a cylinder and a cone, or cylinder hemispheres, or cone and hemisphere. We can take combination of figures. And the third concept is volume of combination of solids. This is here also combination of solids, but here we will apply only completely volume. Here surface area of combination of solids means we can take total surface area of that solid is nothing but all CSS we need to add, combination of it. And last concept, this is very important concept. Why? Because this is conversion of solids. 4 marks question we can expect from this. Conversion of solids from one shape to another. We can take a cube into how many coins we can make, or sphere melted and form how many cones, like that. Very important concept, we can expect from 4 marks this one. And if you take first from first and second exercise, what are the basics we are having? cost of painting a drum means we need to use the surface area based on volume means we need to use capacity that, and cost means we need to apply surface area. And here cost of painting drum means we need to find out based on situation we need to find out surface area, and what is the unit 3 rupees per meter square, like that we need to find out what is the cost of that one. And if you go with surface areas, if cylinder, sphere and cone having the same radius and same height, then we can get surface areas ratios we can find out. And some concepts may be a area of the sheet for 1000 meter square, how many hemispherical balls we can prepare, or how many hemisphere we can make 1000 meter square area, how many we can take, what is the radius of that hemisphere if given, and how many we can make by 1000 meter square. We can find out number of hemispherical balls and volume of surface areas we can find out. And we can find, they can give the radius and height of the cone, and what is the total area for 100 caps or 50 caps we can find out by using the formula. This in the mensuration we need to apply formulas, and this is very real life situations we can use here. And paper cylinder, how many cylinders we can make by 1000 or 100, what is the area we need we can find out. And also volume of the cones and volume of the cylinder, volume of sphere, they can ask any 1 mark questions or like that. And they can give conditions like LSA of cylinder is equal to CSA of cone, and find the heights ratios, they can ask any kind of questions. And we are having 1000 centimeter square a sheet, how many caps we can make for radius and height, certain value they will give, how many caps we can make. Based on radius and height we can say that this many caps we can prepare by 1000 centimeter square area. And also we can show that the relation cylinder and cone volumes ratio we can show 3:1. Directly we can apply the formula here. And we can go cylinder, they can give radius and height, then how many volume of that such 50 rods we can find out by using the formulas. And if we go second exercise, surface area of combination of cylinders, cone and hemisphere, they can give like this, cone and hemisphere like this, they can give common radius will be there and height will be there. And we can find out surface area of that solid is nothing but CSA of cone plus CSA of hemisphere. We need to write the formula and substitute the values. And moreover, not to forget about units. In this chapter is units, if you forgot to write means they can reduce the marks half or 1 mark. And hemisphere, cylinder and cone, they can ask hemisphere and cylinder and cone. We can get surface area by splitting the diagrams into CSA of cone plus CSA of cylinder plus CSA of hemisphere. And capsule problems, they can ask 4 marks, surface area or volume. So capsule means we can get if you split the capsule you will get like hemisphere one end, here also we will get one more end, hemisphere and cylinder. And we can get volume based on the measurements, we can get height of the cylinder and radius of the cylinder, common radius for hemisphere and cylinder. Like that we can get volume of the capsule or surface area of the capsule. And you can join 2 cubes together and find out the surface area. They can ask volume of that cuboid. If 2 cubes are joined, we'll get a cuboid, and based on dimensions we can get a surface area and volume. And storage tank means we can get a cylinder and the same way cylinder and hemisphere at 2 ends. And we can get a sphere and volume, sphere, cylinder, cone volumes ratio we can get. And surface area of cube and hemisphere. If whenever a cube is there, when we will remove the pot, hemisphere portion, hemisphere pot if you remove, then what is the remaining surface area, they can ask those kind of question. Or if cylinder is there and scooping the hemisphere on both ends. What is the remaining surface area of the solid means we can use the whatever the area here is total surface area of the cube minus hemisphere portion, and add this circular portion from this total surface area of the cube, subtract this is a circular portion, and this region is remaining. That's why here what we are doing is some surface area of the cube remaining solid is nothing but total surface area of the cube, subtract circle area and adding the curved surface area of hemisphere, then you will get the surface area of the solid. Here also we can do remaining area of the solid means we can apply the formulas. We are having two more concepts. One is volume and conversion. Here volume is a combination of these figures. If you take some problems in the textbook, if you take cylinder and cone, what is the volume of that 50 rods or 100 rods they can ask, and we can find out volume. How we can find out means volume of the cylinder plus volume of the cone by given dimensions, radius and height they will give, and a common radius will be there for cylinder and the cone, and we can get volume in the meter cube or centimeter cube, and based on that we can get total volume of that 50 rods we can say. And when you take a combination of hemisphere and cone, they can ask like what is the height of that cone, and they will give the condition this volume of the hemisphere is 2 by 3 times of volume of cone or like that. Then we can get substitute the common radius will be there, we can get the height of that pot, and after that getting height, what is the surface area of the toy means CSA of cone plus CSA of hemisphere, we can get surface area of the entire toy. And here what is the water left in the tub means here we total cylinder in this is full of water is there, in that volume of the cylinder is nothing but here we need to take volume of the cone and hemisphere we need to subtract from the total cylinder volume, then you will get water left in the tub. If you go, this is what is the largest right circular cone we can insert in the cube means here height of the cone is nothing but side of the cube, and the diameter of the cone is nothing but side of the cube, then radius is half of the diameter, then we can get radius of the cone and height of the cone, we can get volume of the cone. If you take this one, what is the volume left in the wood means volume of the cylinder minus 2 times of volume of the cone, then we will get a volume left in the wood. Then how many spherical marbles we can insert in this cylinder to get height of that cylinder, this much means we can say volume of the cylinder, we need to assume suppose that is the height of that cylinder, and in volume we know the radius of the sphere, and volume of the number of spherical marbles equal to volume of the cylinder by volume of the sphere, will get height of the cone. But we need to assume height should be how much water level rise here, and if you go with here, what is the volume left in the wood means volume of the cuboid minus 3 times of the volume of the cone. Here the dimensions they can give, and when you go conversion, this is very easy topic and also very important, 4 marks they can ask. How many spherical hemisphere converted into cylinders, this number of cylinder equal to volume of the hemisphere by volume of the cylinder, and how much length of the cylinder means here sphere melted into form a wire that is looking like a cylinder. They can give the dimensions, radius of the sphere and radius of the cylinder, we can get equate volume of sphere equal to volume of the cylinder. He can if anything value is missing means we can equate the volumes both. If you go with the same thing, volume of the cube converted into number of spherical balls or number of cylinder, based on the number of spherical balls equal to volume of the cube by volume of the sphere, like that we can do. We can number of 3 spheres is given and melted to form a single sphere, and what is the radius of the single sphere means sum of the volumes of 3 spheres, then you will get a resultant hemisphere. After that we can apply the formula of the sphere, and like this missing value sphere converted into cylinder, what is the height of that means at that time we need to take only one cylinder, volume of the sphere equal to volume of the cylinder, here radius will give, here also radius will give, we can get the height of that cylinder. And cylinder melted, and how many cubes means we can get volume of the cylinder by volume of the. In that way, how many